this fun-filled adventures that we're going to have here today. You know, we kind of left off on the last one, about September and all the events and everything that's taken place. Let, let me collapse this. It's going to drive me crazy. There we go. But the most amazing part about it is I have two ways of looking at it. First of all, well, actually three ways of looking at it. The first part is we shouldn't be worried if Christ is coming in September. We shouldn't be worried today if he's coming. We should be ready today. The main part about it is, are we truly ready? If we have to concentrate if we're ready, most likely we're not ready. I mean, honestly, let's just call it what it is. Um, there's a lot of activities that's happening right now. There's a lot of things that are bouncing off the spiritual realm, and I'm going to touch a little bit also on what I've been going through with this whole accident in battling the mind, basically, is, I constantly have to have that connection with Jesus somehow, whether I'm thinking of him, praying about him, just saying his name, the power, just like the power of his blood, the power of him it's more important now than we ever had. I mean, we wasted so many opportunities in life. We've wasted so much time uh, going through what we've gone through, these trials, tribulations, and all these things that we have done. So, you know, I just want to show you something real quick. Look at this stuff, people. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like it gets better. I mean, you see this video right here. Let me see if I can point to this one. That thing right there. Let me tell you something. First of all, I prayed over this before I even pulled any of this up. You know, this is another one. If you go down to this video, it's kind of hard. This one right here, with the ghost girl thing in there. First of all, okay, let me just run this by you guys real fast here. Let me shut this off. Turn off.
Sorry, something went wrong. When you're ready, give it.
Something always goes wrong. So, first of all, why are we even playing with that? Why are we entertaining that stuff? That one image that I showed you behind the door, I've seen that thing on so many different images, on so many different videos, and that ghost girl thing, they just keep bringing this nonsense into existence. But before I tackle onto that, let's get back to September. So there's a lot of prophets. There's a lot of people out there prophesizing that with the Jewish holidays, everything lines up and everything is connecting in with that time frame. Could it be? It possibly could be, and it possibly is going to be. I don't know, but I do know that I'm ready. I want to be ready. Am I ready? I mean, we can go through these all night and day. Question, you just change whatever you think that is keeping you from that connection with God. You need to change your life. You need to start changing those events in your life. That being said, think about this one. What if everybody's getting pumped up for this return of Christ, and we should be. I'm not taking that away. But what if it doesn't happen? Is this a tactic from Satan to take us into that pit, to go to denial, because we're burned out basically on what's happening in this world? So if that's the case, we have to be spiritual prepared for that attack. Things are changing. Donald Trump's passing stuff. We're getting these streets cleaned up. You look at this morning they already had the National Guards up in Washington D.C. putting barricades up. Awesome, right? But what if this is all part of a bigger plan? What if this is all part? Now, what if this is all part of the rapture? Because I told you guys, I seen tanks, I seen all the military vehicles, gasoline tankers, and all this stuff. I've been seeing it for years. I've seen it in the dream that I had of a train for miles, just nothing but military vehicles, Jeeps, Hummers, tanks, helicopters, and stuff. So you think about this, okay? Literally think about this. I told you guys before, I had a vision of streets being locked down and people wasn't driving. They just locked streets totally down because of disappearing and everything of people and all this stuff, and vehicles crashing. And so naturally, it's a scary event, right? So what if this is all a bigger plan? What if this is God's timing to turn all this stuff, to have all this stuff in there? But you think about it. Or is it Satan's timing to have all this stuff locked in, to get you completely locked into your places, and you will go in and be under their watchful eye? Hold on a minute. I have to do something with this thing here. This thing is driving me crazy. But I don't know how to collapse it, so I'm just not going to mess with it. And all right, sorry about that, guys. But because we know in the end times total chaos is going to happen. We know in the end times that we're seeing it out there. It's almost like a day late and a dollar short type thing, but it's not, because something is powerful about to happen. I got sent a video. Somebody asked me what I thought, and they sent me a video, and I got a couple more that I still need to watch. And but this video had this big UFO thing in the middle of the road, and I replied back to them. I said, "Interesting," and they put back and they said, "Just interesting." I said, "Well, it's not like I'm an all-knowing magic 8-ball here. I don't know. I have my thoughts on things, and it's either from Jesus or it's not. So we have to look at it in either direction that we go. I've always said, if it leads you into godliness, then you're on the right path. If it leads you out of there, but that takes you for a second, you got to stop and do what? Meditate. Oh my gosh, not meditation again, Nelson. Yes. You got to stop for a minute to see. Is this going to work? That spirit that's in you is going to, like the little Jiminy Cricket sitting on you going, no, Nelson, don't. No, we already know what this is going to do. We don't need it. Because I'll tell you what, you're going to feel bad. You're going to be in repentance. You're going to be in repentance again. You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel even worse than the last time. And it's still not enough. So, September is going to be very interesting. We're almost there. And this year's flown by. I remember when the Lord said the days would become shorter and the nights would become even shorter. You won't know daylight from darkness. You won't know day from night. It seems like you lay down, you're right back up. And we're on this hamster wheel, turning fast. Bam, 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 bam. I told you guys yesterday, you're in prison by holding those cell phones. What's in your life that is more important than holding God and holding Jesus. We're in prison. We're imprisoning ourselves because we're so worried about what the world thinks. It's in the schools. It's all over out there. But we're allowing this sexual perversion of things that go in the streets. We're allowing people to walk around. Whatever happened to indecent exposure? Whatever happened to these people that anymore? I mean, I literally see people peeing on the side of the road. I mean, you see it. I used to pull in the fuel stations, and guys would be peeing just randomly. They're not even like. I get it. You're fueling. You might not be able to make it. At least go behind where the tanks is and the skirts and stuff in there, so nobody sees you. I mean, something. It's amazing how lawless we have become. And you think about it. I was just today listening to Darlene go on there doing the automated bill pay thing, how it saves you like $5, whatever the heck it is, and it doesn't ever seem to work. Her card updated. She had to get a different card because it expired. This bear with me for this roller coaster ride here. Okay. Does it make any sense to anybody that our bank cards have to expire? I mean, really? We had ours for the longest time, and we didn't have the chip, and everybody else around us that we knew that was using the same bank down in Florida, all of a sudden, our cards just stopped working. When I took it in there, I said, well, something's wrong with my card. Oh, well, you don't have the chip card. They just shut it off. Oh, well, excuse me? There's something wrong with the card. It's not being hacked. It's not nothing. So why all of a sudden are we shutting off these bank cards? Cash is going to become limited, people. I mean, we're already doing away with the penny. They're just seeing how people's reacting to it. It's so much that's going on so fast that you're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to the blind eye to things. And we're overlooking the left or the right hand, whichever hand that you want to prefer. Like if this hand's moving, and in the process, I'm moving my right hand and moving objects around. But you're not paying attention to what I'm moving. You're just paying attention to that. So September to me is going to be kind of like that. It's going to be a magical thing, or it's going to be a darkness. It's going to bring Christ, and it's going to bring in the beginning of the Antichrist. How excited now hearing that is anybody up there? Let me see who's in the chat so I can say hello. Oh my goodness. I'm always confused by the brother-in-law thing. If Mudshark is one of them people that don't know if it's woman, don't know if it's man, don't never really said, and that's cool. But it's the fact that you're a mystery to me. That's why I've always loved the Mudshark. Plus, I'm a Jimmy Buffett fan, so hey, But either way, good to see you. Well, not see, but you know what I mean. Glad you're here. There you go. So, drones have been around for a long time, people. These drones have been flying around. Is that UFO just another drone? Disguised to look like the aliens abducted these people, abducted the Christians? Hey, Nelson, you said those people. Well, yeah, because that's how the world sees Christians. Oh, they're Bible thumpers. I don't want to be a part of that group. I don't want to be this. And because we're, my group of people, see them? They're all standing right there. Aren't they awesome? Well, yeah, right. Because I'm the most important person in this whole world. Right. Let's just walk down a crazy rabbit hole here for a minute. Alice kept running, chasing the white rabbit, and we know this. And then she fell in the hole, or jumped in the hole. I don't really remember Alice in Wonderland too much. But then it said, drink me, the magic potion. People, I don't need no magic potion to know that this world is upside down. I don't need no magic potion to look out my window and go, I don't want no part of this world. I have to separate myself. I got to separate myself now to allow Christ to be more in me. I have to do away with these videos and this nonsense that I just showed you at the beginning of this. You're toying around with it. Do I think all of them are fake? No. Do I think the majority of them? Yes. Why? Because it's all over everywhere. Every social media, TikTok, all this stuff. I mean, they were even mocking the one where the ghost girl comes out there and she's coming down the stairs and they made her fall and they're over there. And then it was like this doll, like made up doll thing. And so trick of the camera, trick of the hands. And so you go through, you don't even realize what you're opening. You don't realize that portal. You don't realize tarot cards readings. And again, my second oldest sister, her daughter's into all that stuff. And she says, Mom, I did it. And I'm like, I said, sis, you really believe this nonsense? I mean, the only thing that them demons are doing is convincing her, which doesn't take much, obviously, to convince her that they're who they are. I say, and I told her, I said, tell her to come over and do another card reading and let me come over and sit there. Because when she's doing this, I want that demon, what she says is the person, I want them to tell me something only they knew that I know. Because she's talking about the sister that died of an overdose that's a year and a half older than me. And my family just wants to think that she's in heaven, which she's not, because she didn't live that lifestyle. I mean, she was evil, just pure evil. And she's still my sister. I love her, and I love people that do the wicked stuff they do out there. I love the good. I love the bad. I love the whatever, because God says to love everybody. Even the ones that come against you. That was my hardest part, and it still kind of is sometimes, because I just want to go, listen, you grab a hold of him, go sit down and listen. No, just go. Sometimes I do. I have to be honest. Sometimes I do. Like right now, I'm having that moment. No, just get the angry sharks. That's because Mud Shark comes on here. What was that? Anger management? Oh, the Mud Shark. Never mind. But so September, I'm like, whew, it's almost like you want them to be right. Because you know how many people are prophesying that Christ is coming in September? And I'm thinking, is all these people going to be right or wrong? Because that can do a huge blow to Christianity. I mean, seriously. If these people are doing like these videos, faking and taking stuff on there, people, it's being exposed right now. These near-death experiences, I mean, there's a few of them on there where the guy kept changing his clothes. Now he's coming out with his jewelry. He was the gang member that got shot and all this stuff. I'm not saying it's wrong. He still sticks to his story, but yet his girlfriend or whatever, wife, and all them people on there that turned around and said that he never lived that. It never happened. Oh my gosh, man. All you're doing is taking the reality of what really happened to people and you're making it false. I don't know. Let me read. I'm gonna have to keep jumping back and forth with you guys. So I agree. I agree, Mud Shark. I mean, we should be, and that's what I don't know if you caught the beginning of this, but what I was saying in the beginning of it, if we got to worry about if we're ready for September to happen, if we got to worry about that, if you go back and look at yesterday's live stream on here, and I was showing the pictures of the Twin Towers and all the exposure of the fake towers being blown up by airplanes and terrorists and mass destruction and leprechauns and gremlins and whatever else you want to throw into the Terminator and Batman we should just put the bat signal up there, and I don't understand why we don't get Rambo and Arnold and Chuck Norris and am I missing any more of these big stars that went out there with machine guns in their hands and stood in the middle of a field and Wow. I mean, but it's entertainment, right? Really, it's becoming. It's people are joking, laughing. They got these dead people standing on the side of the roads, and but one person said that they literally picked up a lady in a wedding gown and drove her to where she said she needed to go. Drove her there. She gets out and realized the whole back of her dress is all bloody and stuff, and it's dripping blood. And I was like, stop, hold on. So I commented on there. I said, you expect me to believe you drove somebody all the way to this chapel in this dirt road that it's ran down. It's not even a chapel. I mean, it's still there, but it's not active. The person gets out, never says a word to you, just turns around, looks at you, smiles kind of, and starts walking. And you see all this blood dripping out of her. Even when she got out of the car, you notice the blood, but there's no blood on your seat. Okay, I don't believe it. I just don't. I'm sorry. You're just taking another story, and let's face it, it's entertainment, I guess, for some people. But you're just dabbing in the demonic realm because you're believing what you want to believe. Just like people question the Bible all the time, and is Christ really coming? I've been hearing this for centuries. I've been listening to this. It says that before this generation passes. Well, what generation? He didn't really say. He didn't really say. My home's not here, and my treasure's not here. I agree. Luke 17:23. Those who cling into their life will lose it, but those that lose their lives for the sake will save it. Amen. Yeah. I mean, actually, you want to know what's amazing about that mud shark? Look, I just want to show you something. Luke, before or after I knock over all these books, uh, I actually, if you look at this tab right here, I don't want to lose this page, but if you look at this tab right here, that's exactly what you're reading, Luke. See? I don't know if you can see the Luke right there. It's right here. Exactly what you just read. Isn't it amazing? I thought you'd get a kick out of that because and I'm glad. I'm honestly thank you for posting stuff on here, and you've always been, whether people read all the comments or not, but you've always been that inspiration. You've always put. You would be one of the people that I would be very shocked and surprised. I mean, if the rapture does come in September and we're still here, well, I want you to. We'll have to hook up into this area and finally look face to face and go, hey, because I would be totally shocked, and it could be too. Now I'm not putting you up on that pedestal. Is it one of the things that you know the Bible very well? Well, we also know Satan knows the Bible. I'm not calling you Satan because I do believe that you're a godly person. I could be totally wrong, but I do feel a good presence with you. I don't feel like there's some people's comments that I just go, I don't know, but I tend to believe that you would be the one of the ones called up. And what an amazing day you're going to have. What amazing life, the rest of your life. You're right. Our treasures, everything down here is a gift. Everything down here is a gift. Like I showed you guys this toy room before. It's totally different now. I mean, I totally got rid of almost everything out of here. I kept one Star Wars scene and a few little things here and there. My models and stuff that I'm building. Not that it has anything to do with it, but this is the one that I'm finishing up on now. Yes, people, my big gloppy hands actually built this. And it's not that I glorify it or I'm proud of it or anything, but it's the only thing that's been keeping my mind focused. I've been trying to work on puzzles and stuff, and that's not working. Uh, but anyways, we'll get to that here in a minute. Um, uh, well, that's awesome. You know what? That honestly, and no thank you needed. Honestly, I just speak what I feel, and I've always said that to, with you guys. Uh, Believe it or don't. I mean, it comes down to that. But to hear you say that, I mean, I hope so. I mean, honestly, my some of, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've never told anybody this. I still struggle a little bit with disappointment to God and Jesus for what I was. And I know that I wasn't I'm held accountable for those days because I was naive. You know, all I knew was darkness. All I knew was the demonic realm. And go figure, everywhere, come stay with us, demonic home. Come, come to our church, demonic church. Go figure. After I hung myself, I took off and spent 2 weeks at an abandoned church that I used to go sit and just have my yelling matches and thoughts. Demonic church. Go figure that he takes me there after Jesus rescued me out of there. Satan doesn't want to let go of you. Like I said, you're an investment to them. They don't care about you. See, it's a body count. It's always going to be about a body count. It's always going to be the mockery of that. We got to watch what Satan's doing because he's a mastermind of deceiving ways. You know, we know that Lucifer can come as an angel of light because he was an angel. The Bible speaks of how handsome Lucifer was. And it's hard for us to break down and read this stuff, but I just don't understand how in the world we can believe in the Holy Spirit, we can believe in the Bible, but we don't believe, we a la carte the Bible. We're saying, God, you're not capable of making a donkey speak. Well, you keep your God in a box. I'm letting the God of all creation out of that box, and I'm letting him do his will and his works in me. I'm letting Jesus Christ be master of my life. I surrender my life to him. If he told me right now to go and it was a lightning storm, hail coming, tornado coming, water raising up and coming up to my knees, and told me to go stand right across the street here, we could barely get two cars sometimes up and down this road. Uh, Told me to go stand there in the middle of that, I would do it. I'm telling you, and God is my witness, stop my tongue. If I am lying, don't let me speak another word on this channel. Don't let me do anything that's going to tarnish your name. But let me speak the truth that you have given me to speak in your precious holy name, the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of Man. You are the Son of God. You are the great I am from the I am. That being said, people, I would do it. I wasted so much of my life serving a darkness. And that's why I get so upset with these videos. That's why I get so upset with people allowing their children to watch and do the things they're doing. Their kids walking outside half naked. But let me tell you right now, if your child's not working, even if your child's working and they're living in your household, I'm telling you right now, if I'm taking them shopping, they would not be buying that stuff. Are you going to be the very one that's going to see your kids at Walmart posted up there? Well, Epstein's getting exposed now, the Diddy's and all that kind of stuff, but sex trafficking isn't done. It's not done. They just got a new leader. Take off one, they got a new one. You got your wings. Oh, made me smile. I don't smile a whole lot. People's like, how come you don't have a smile? I never was a big person, but after I just can't stop smiling now, because that makes me happy. You know, and I believe it. I mean, I truly believe it. I used to one of my favorite Christmas movies is, and I'll get back to this, but that just triggered my mind. One thing about these channels, I believe you guys like my randomly going in and everything, but then how I bring it all back into the pocket. But some people don't like it. But and then again, this video, our channel, our family isn't for everybody. It can be. It's a Wonderful Life. When the little girl says, "Look, Daddy, the teacher says every time the bell rings, an angel gets his wing," and Clarence just got done doing his work. our path lines God has laid out before us. Tomorrow may not come for Mud Shark. Tomorrow may not come for me. But it's what we leave behind. That legacy of Christ. Notice what I just said, what we leave behind, the legacy of Christ. I can't speak of my salvation. I can't speak of what he has done in my life if it wasn't for his blood. If it wasn't for him caring, being obedient. Obedient is one of the hardest things I believe we can do. And Mudshark, you mentioned that do not store up stuff, and here on earth, but up in heaven. But the good thing about it is the Father says all good gifts that I should give you here on earth shall be in heaven. So when God rewards us here on earth, He's not saving those rewards to heaven, people. He's giving us rewards now that we can enjoy, and we're going to have the reward there in heaven. As long as we don't take man's 5-second tap on the back. And we're doing it for God and not man. But let's dig in a little bit more. So there's my thoughts on September. What's going to happen or not happen. But if it don't happen, it's kind of like 1999 going into 2000. Everybody. My kids were glued to the clock, and I clicked the breaker, and they were freaking out. And I turned it back on. I said, that's why you don't believe everything that you hear. We should be ready right now. We shouldn't. What's happening right now, I believe, is what the Bible spoke of the virgins. The ones were ready and the other ones didn't have oil. Give us some oil. No. Would you be willing to give your oil at that moment? If somebody asked me that question, I'd say no. I'm sorry, no. I'm ready. I'm focused. I'm looking at him. I don't care who's around me, who's calling my name. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to take the chance of taking on that mark of the beast. I don't want to take the chance of getting that mark across my forehead. I don't want to take that chance to ending up displeasing God and me making God send me to hell. Notice what I just said. Me making God send me to hell. God doesn't want me there. But if I can't get over my earthly ways and I can't get over my earthly desires and my evil thoughts and my evil actions, you may say, Nelson, are you confessing this? No, I'm using my back life to show you guys. If you come against your neighbor, if you're coming against someone that's done wrong to you, you just gotta, this is how I got over that. I just picture them standing in a glass house, the three little pigs, I huff and puff, and the stick house went down, the straw house, the stick house, and the other one brother was over there getting busy while they were still playing around. Oh, I'm going to run to my brother's house. Then they're playing around, and the brother was building the house of bricks on solid ground. Jesus Christ. Amen. Yeah, absolutely. God, Christ suffered for us. God suffered when his son was going through that. Can you imagine? You go back to Abram. Man, Mud Shark, man, you got to tune into these more often, man. Man, you get me on fire here. You go back to Abram, taking Isaac. People said, well, it wasn't his only son. So what's he really sacrificing? He's sacrificing the first that he promised to Sarah. Or Sarah, which then later becomes Sarah. Promised. Well, did anybody ever think why he changed her name? Because she was disobedient and told Abram to go over there to be with the maid servant or the servant or whatever she was. First of all, Abram should have said, no, I'm not doing it. I believe, just my thoughts, I believe somewhere down in there was some kind of attraction to her why Abram even could do something like that. Did sin enter him? You look at the Last Supper. When Jesus is dipping it, said, thou who takes of the bite of this bread would be the one that's going to betray me. He spoke it, and they still asked him. Which one's it going to be. Clearly, as he says, at the moment when Satan entered into Judas, he said, then go now and do what you must do, but do it quickly, because he knew Satan's only going to be in him for that quick moment. See, Satan doesn't want to be cast out, because if Satan enters, this is why we have all these peon demons. Because if Satan enters you and he gets cast out, he's going straight back to hell. You go to the story about the swines. That man had the legions, and they said, what do you want with the son of, what do you want with the son of man? And he says, quiet you. And they just kept going, and they said, don't send us back there, send us into the swine, the pigs. The pigs become mad. We all know they jumped into the water. Some say over a cliff and drowned it, and boom, they're going back to hell either way. Should have just took the get out of jail free card and just march yourself right back in there and not have to go through all that, because now you just got drowned on top of all that. See, when you go into sin, you just keep adding sin. You just keep adding it and adding it and adding it and adding it. When it comes time to go and kneel down before the feet of Christ, I want you to start to remember the Passion of the Christ, because Mel Gibson's got about the closest that I can relate to. Because I'm telling you, when I stood there and watched him go through that, and he showed me that, I just, it haunts me sometimes. It haunts me in a good way, because it haunts me because I knew all them beatings he took in, and his body being broke open was for my sins. Well, Nelson, the world's full of sin. You're absolutely right. But I'm talking just about myself. That's what keeps me from quickly, if I do have a thought, forgive me. Quickly, because I'm telling you, people, I do not. There is nothing on this earth, no one on this earth, I mean no one, family, spouse, dog, animals, whatever, there's nothing. Somebody could walk up to me and say, I'll give you 8 items, whatever you want. You want the richest of the richest? You'd be the richest person on the earth, and no one can take it from you. We'll give you the house that you can design yourself. You just go on the computer, design it, we'll build it. We'll give you up to 10 luxury cars, whatever you want. Whatever car you wanted all your life, we'll give you 10 of them. Now I got the money, I got the place, we'll clothe you, we'll do whatever you want. Let me tell you right now, the only problem is, I got all this money, I got every desire of my heart, but when boredom sets in, you become Ebenezer counting your gold coins. See, I'm okay with being alone. Always have. I've always been a loner, and then when I realized the Bible says do not trust man, I can understand that, because man is the biggest disappointment. I mean, we can't even get it right, people. We can't get it right. Let me make sure I'm on charge. Yeah, you did, Matthew. Narrow is the gate and difficult is the path. You ain't kidding. But the Lord told me something once about this. We look at it like this, as a narrow gate, okay? But look at the spread behind me. So if I change that view to like this, you can see what God looks at. God's looking at this wide open space, and that narrow gateway doesn't exist to him. Because we don't have to travel that narrow thing, because there's plenty of room. Look at all that room in there. You just got to get to it. That's that bridgeway that I talk about. When Jesus is standing at the end of that little tunnel right there, and you see how tight it gets. All you got to do is just go through it. But Jesus, the only one can get us there. We got to rely on him. We got to put our faith and trust in him. And if September is true, I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people. Anybody, I think it says a third or a fourth of people should disappear, or whatever, it should be taken or whatever. Does anybody ever stop and think that maybe this is that time? Anybody ever stop and think maybe just the women and children are going to go? Kind of like the Titanic, let the women and children get off first. I mean, anybody ever think, and even that, people believe it was a great love story and all that stuff really happened. I'm going, you do realize this is Hollywood, right? I mean, there's nowhere documented on there that any of that really happened. Oh no, seriously? Yeah, seriously. Well, dang, that just ruins the whole movie. Well, guess what? I'm about to ruin the rest of your whole movie right now, because at the end of this, either you are a true follower of Christ, or every scary movie, and I mean every scary movie, Hostel included, being cut open, being shredded, being thrown in a wood chipper, but instead of a wood chipper, they're vicious nails that they have. You might as well just, if you want to experience what some of them demons' nails feel like, from being scratched and stuff by them all my life, that's what I want you to do. I want you to go out there, get a 2x4, and jam 3 nails, but make it like a pyramid. 3 nails. And then I want you to sharpen those. And I want you to just grab a hold of it and just start running it up and down. Even take a cutting board that has a handle, jam the nails in there. You don't even got to sharpen them. Just start running as hard as you can up and down yourself, but all over your body, your face, your arms, your back, whatever. And then I want you to start whacking yourself with it. If you can't get all your body, then have somebody else do it. I'm sure if you made them mad that morning, you know what? If you're married and you made your wife mad the night before, give her that. She's going to be loving it. She's going to be like, "Oh, you asked for the wrong thing, mister." Just kidding. I hope that's not true, but uh, you never know. Okay, we're still on Matthew. All right, so here's the amazing part about this. You have a get out of jail. You have a get out of the earth card. But it's not going to be like Monopoly. You can just use it when you want. It's up to you to make it right. And let me tell you right now. This is how you make it right. Sitting, turning off that TV, turning off your video games, reading this word. Man, it tells you, explains what you should be doing as a man. Women, it tells you what you should be doing as a help person. People come against, not really come against, I shouldn't say it like that, but it's just my way of speaking, and you guys are all used to it. So if anybody is new on here for the first time, you just got to go with me with the language part, because I'm limited to words. But doesn't mean I'm not intelligent. I mean, I have a lot of intelligence. I'm not dumb by the least. Yeah, so I forget to turn a doorknob, and I run into it and fall down with groceries and smash eggs and bust milk. No, I'm joking. But why would you want to stay here? I want you guys to really take a moment and just close your eyes. And even if you got to plug your ears, but then don't plug them all the way, because you won't hear what I'm saying. I want you to really think about your lives. And I want you to picture God on one side. Now, we know Jesus said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. So just picture God as Jesus and Jesus. Because we're created after the image of them. Just everybody has a different face. Can you imagine if we all look like Jesus running around? I think it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I would love to run around with Jesus all day. But I want to run around with Jesus. I don't want to run around with someone that looks like Jesus. I want to run around with Jesus. And I want you to visualize everything you do from the start of the day. I actually did this a while back myself. When I'm telling you guys, I did this myself. I wrote down everything that I did that day. When I prayed, I don't have the exact times, but I do it from the time I wake up, time I get out of bed, what I pray before I put my feet on that ground, because I want Satan Lucifer to know when my feet hit that ground, I want it to shake. I want hell to shake when I get out of that bed, because I want them to know, I know you very well. Am I confident, cocky? No. Can I be destroyed by them? Yes. But no. Yes, I could if I allowed myself to walk into a bad situation with them. I know them. I know a lot of it, and I know a lot of the demons. Pretty much why I can tell when people are doing what they're doing, I know it's a demon. Doesn't make me a demon expert. Look how many times people think the devil and Satan could be the same, but devils are devils. Bible talks about devils. A lot of people think the Antichrist, Damien, is Satan. It's not. Damien is the Satan is the fifth highest demon. You come down the list, number 5. You start up here and you come down, and Satan's number 5. So you got 4 other demons that are over him. Lead demons, fallen angels, not the little pyramids of demons they got underneath them. Each legion's 1,000 demons. So think about it. You got one demon in you, you cast it out, you get rid of it, you block it, it comes back with 7 more. So you now got 8,000 demons. Or do you? Or do you just have 7? What if the 8 top demons entered you and they brought their legions? You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Because we watch all this magic, Harry Potter, Smurfs. Yeah, now you're right. I said the Smurfs. I just love that show. I watched it all the time. I'd eat Smurfberry Crunch and sit there. Then when Pac-Man come on, I had Pac-Man cereal. I'd go in there and eat a bowl of that. But you know why? Because nobody paid attention to what I was doing. No wonder why I was a plumpy little fella. I always wanted to make an Easter costume because we had this white rabbit, was plumpy, and I called him Plumpy because he reminded me of me, Plumpy. It's a new word, Plumpy. Now when somebody says, honey, no, dear, you just look plumpy. You're fine. Oh, gosh. Don't do that. You're liable to get clobbered over the head. But, and I'm not talking on your phone, people. I'm talking clearly. You get a sensation. This book, glows into me. It, flows. It's just the warmth of it. Just holding this Bible illuminates everything in my life. It makes my cares go away. It's not like holding the phone or looking at a screen. It's just every time I read it, it gives me the answers that I need to get through the day. There's no trouble I'm going to go through that this word doesn't help me get through it. The faith and the confidence what Jesus is doing in our lives is just incredible. I don't know who that is. Crimson. I always, even with glasses on, Crimson. King Crimson. Brother or sister? Don't really know because I'd have to click on your icon on your face, so apologies. I am doing very well. I'm full of the Spirit. I have a king that loves me. I have a savior that rescued me. I have a shepherd that never lost track of me. And I have a friend, and his name is Jesus Christ. And I have such wonderful people like you that come on here, and we are a great family. Whether we're thousands of miles apart, or whether we're in different countries or wherever we're at, it's amazing that no matter what we look like, no matter how rich we are, how poor we are, what skin color we are, I wouldn't trade anything in the world for this moment right here. And I'm serious. And again, may God take my tongue if I'm lying. I'm not lying to you guys. I really, truly mean it. I would rather have this than any wealth, any fancy cars. Because having money, I've had it. Being broke, been there. Having luxury items doesn't take place of this. And from my heart, I truly mean it. I hope you guys really feel my love for you. It, I do pray. I pray over this YouTube channel, and for I don't like to call them naysayers. I like to call the ones that the doubters. I don't even want to call them doubters because that's putting power into the name. The ones that I don't know. I don't even know how to put it in the word without putting it. Anyways, I'm just going to answer your question. No, I do not know how many subscribers are on here. No, I don't know how many likes or dislikes I get unless I click on a video and then it shows me. I don't know. I do try to get into majority of the comments and I do try to answer. I decided to go live because it's a lot easier to answer the questions as we're going. It might take a little bit longer, but I'm going to go live. I'm going to go at different times also because I want to be able to go on at nighttime to give other people opportunities. And I appreciate all the comments you guys are doing, all the interactions, because that's what God has called us to do. To be disciples. You are disciples. What you're doing right now is discipleship into this world. What you're doing right now is lighting that aroma incense that I've talked about on other videos to God. What you're doing right now is pleasing God. What you're doing is opening up. And I know it's not about rewards, but let's face it. When your birthday comes around, it's just not another day. God doesn't make mistakes, but I want you to know something. God wants to reward you. He truly does. I could do a whole teaching just on that. I mean, it's just incredible what God's want to do in your lives. Amen. All riches of the world are dunghill. I don't know. I really need to go get my new glasses. They kind of look like these ones. I just grabbed them because I was trying to be on it between the 10 and 11 hour, but I end up getting on at 11. Yeah, compared to knowing Christ, there's nothing on this earth worth it, people. I'm telling you. I mean, I've lived both sides of the fence, and they see the grass. Mike Hunt. Why do I know that name? Yeah, you can get a shout out. You can even do a shout out to somebody on here if you want. It's your channel too. But welcome. Why do I know your name? Interesting. So let's keep digging. Guys, women, children, adults, young adults, getting ready to start back up school. In prayer, the Lord says, tell the people to pray for these schools. You know, and here's the thing, and this is where I was going, because the way these children are dressing right now, and the parents are, oh, I don't see nothing wrong with the way my child's dressing, but as soon as they disappear, who do they blame? Who are they yelling at? God, please bring my baby back to me. Officers, find my baby, find my baby. If they weren't so appealing to the sick, twisted demons, and they're not working at restaurants and putting their information what school they go to, you might as well just put a bulletin right above your house, and you might as well just film everything your kids are in there doing and just invite the devil straight into your home to snatch your child. And that's about as in your face as I can get with it. Because if you're allowing your kids to walk around half naked, you're allowing them to walk into, I mean, Walmart and people, my gosh. I mean, you're trying not to look, but it's just like, is that person even got shorts on? And then, I mean, I seen a girl one day. I forget what state I was. I think I was down in West Virginia. It was my third stop on a reefer load, which is a refrigerated trailer, not hauling reefer. I was on my third stop, and I went in there to get some cleaning stuff for the truck, and these girls come walking by, and I'm telling you, I was like, what is all these people staring at? I come around the corner. They had these two strings that came down, and it had like a quarter size piece of yarn that covered the nipple area. And I'm sitting there going, you have got to be kidding me. And I just turned my head as soon as I realized what was going on. I did, honest to God, I turned my head, and one of the last girls had on a regular shirt, and she says, and she's like the one kind of filming, and she says, "Why'd you do that?" Do what? You basically could have got a free look. And I was like, it's not about respect. She just looked at me. I said, might want to delete that, because one day your friends are going to come up missing, and you're going to remember some guy walking around in Walmart told you, and it won't be at my hands. It'll be at their own hands. Sometimes I want to take pictures of these children and put it up on the board, missing child, to wake them up. I don't want to hear it's a fad. They're just going through something. No, I don't want to hear that. You're allowing it. You're allowing it. You're allowing your child. What if I said this? What if I went into another avenue with it? What if I went in there and lined up 100 guys, all different sizes, all different skin colors, all different nationality, whatever, and put your daughter down on the bed and said, "Here you go," or your son these days? You would say, I'm crazy. You call the cops on me. Get out of my house. Why all of a sudden are you protecting it now? But yet you're billboarding, and you're allowing them to billboard where they work it's not just girls these days, people. This sick demons don't care. You understand there is some demons that there's no sex to it. It's not a male or a female. You go back to Lilith in the beginning. People say it's a myth. Lilith existed. She was before Eve. She's not recorded. Not in the Holy Bible, but it's recorded in the Satanic Bible. I've had people tell me, Nelson, I've read the Holy Bible. No, really? Yeah, I carried it. I went, really? Where'd you buy it at? Oh, I bought it at where the potions and all that stuff is, and this and that. What's the name of it? What do you mean? What's the name of it? What? It's just called the book. No, it's not. You're lying to me. So many people don't even realize what they're doing. Your children don't realize what they're doing. You know, majority of the children act out to get a bad reaction from you than have no reaction. And they're not even getting that. Because most of these dads, because let's face it, COVID, most people went crazy. They went and bought all this stuff where you're not allowed to go talk to your family members. You ain't stopping me from going over and talking to nobody. I was able to go to work and do what I had to do. You ain't stopping me from going over to see my kids or see my family or see my mother. I don't care. Put me in jail. It was so dumb, all this stuff. Testing. That's all they do. That's it. I'm not saying people didn't die from there. Go back and watch the other videos, people. I'm just trying to touch on some of this so we can keep going so you can see where I'm at with all this. You have to understand, we have to stop. Not my choice of telling you, the Lord. You have to take back your own household right now. Because if September truly is coming, and it truly is, we know it's like a blink of an eye, it's going to be here. If the rapture is September, are you going to be one to stand there? Go back to the left behind when the pastor's standing there. They're gone. I'm still here. They believed. I didn't believe. That's what you want to have? Do you really think the freedom that we have right now, you're going to be able to survive it without taking the mark? What if you and your family are still here? Because the same thing, disbelief. Disbelief, what do you expect God to do in your life if you have disbelief? If you can't imagine it, if you can't think it's possible to happen, because you set God in a box as impossible. Because I pray and I pray and I pray, Nelson, and nothing happens. I pray and I pray and I pray and I never get what I want. Maybe you're not ready for it. Maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe it's going to harm you. I want a Lamborghini, Nelson. Really? Where do you work at? Not making fun of anybody's job, so I'm going to use mine. I'm one of them dang there dumb truck drivers. Don't yield and don't do nothing down the road. I'm not making fun of West Virginia people either. I got family all over. I just want to say this. It comes a point you gotta look at yourself. I've been telling people to go argue with themselves in the mirror. When you're mad and you want to scream, I want you to go scream in the mirror. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see what you look like. And it's going to change the way that you handle arguments. I'd soon sit there and be quiet through an argument as best as I can, because they're the ones going to look bad, not me. I've made myself look bad long enough. But the power of the Christ and the blood that was shed, I said it yesterday. I picture that one drop of blood that he gave me to save me on my head, flowing down me, covering me, get down to my feet, and I grab it real quick. And I just keep doing it. That's what I do most of the day. I picture myself doing that, breathing in and out. But listen to what the Lord told me. I want you to start thanking my Father for the things that you've asked. Claim it. Believe it. Know it. When you come into prayer, I go into prayer with, I know people that are going to pray the same. I go into prayer that I know people aren't going to have doubt. I go into prayer that people believe that if I'm standing there and I'm not praising worshiping and nobody else is, and I'm not giving God's thanks, the rocks are going to cry out to him. I'm telling you right now, Jesus would have to take me off this earth if I ever stood there and that rock cried out, and I'm not crying out to him and giving him the glory that he deserves, and the dang rock had to do it. I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to go to heaven. But I'm grateful that he finds the favor and the just and the forgiveness. I took the punishments, and I'm glad. I thank God every day for his discipline. I thank him for his discipline. I welcome his discipline. I give him my free will. I give him my life, my spirit, my bones, my flesh, my soul, my veins, my blood, my thoughts, my heart. I want my heart to love like he loved. I want my brains to be like brains. I want my brain to be like Jesus. Be obedient, listen to the Father, speak what he has given, and I want to keep them two together so I can never sin. Jesus said, if you keep your heart and your mind together, you can't sin, because you're too busy loving and you're too busy concentrating on what he's saying. How can you sin? If you take 2 weeks, turned everything off in your life, start taking stuff off your plate, and seriously just serving Christ, and being in thanksgiving for the right things, not for the wrong. Some of the unanswered prayers are the best prayers. I hope you guys know that. Let me see. We got. You're right. You're right. They're not disciplining them, because the world makes it, if you spank your child, it's abuse. Tracy. She says, hey, blessings, everyone. She's always. One thing about Tracy, you know, uh, secretly, she didn't ask me this, but I just want you guys, when you pray, to keep her in your prayers with healing, total healness. We're almost there, but I just want you guys to keep her in that prayer. And if anybody else needs silent prayer, I pray for all of you anyways. But honestly, she can yell at me later. It's okay. So far, she hasn't, but it's okay. The scriptures tell us to give them a rod. Wait a minute. The scriptures tells, spare the rod, you spoil the child type thing. That's what you're saying. You're absolutely right. And it doesn't mean to go out there and, my idea of spare there, and again, everybody knows I bring my life pretty much in everything, and that's kind of why Darlene don't watch a lot of these videos, because she's heard these stories over and over and over. I remember the time when that guy beat me so bad, and my back and my legs and my cheeks and all this stuff was busting open, and turned around and grabbed a hold of me, and I wouldn't get down in the hot water because I'm welded up, I'm bleeding, and it hurts. Shoves me down in there and held me, even as a young boy. I mean, young. I wanted to die. All my life, I wanted to die. Seriously. It wasn't a blink of an eye. I was always alone. Even if I got grounded, I got to be grounded in my room, and they never really took anything away from me. Probably the only way to shut me up and keep me in there. I didn't care. I never felt like I belonged anywhere. The older I got, and when I got into that satanic home, I felt accepted. But we also had charts. Anybody ever watched The Guardian with Ashton Kutcher, or how you pronounce his name, and Kevin Costner? I'm gonna knock him off that thing. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I got so wrapped up in all this stuff that I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be better at everything in that house. Right then is that moment I talked about a while back, when Jesus says, when he bid of it, go and do this quick. The devil entered me. Not Satan, the devil. That watcher that watched me from a kid, the one, my shadow that I used to play with, I knew it entered me. I felt the demons entering me. Later on, when I asked Jesus to show me that his crucifixion, I don't relate to it. I'm just saying, I can only imagine how many sins there is in this world. I deserved hell. I deserve every bit of it. But today, I'm very thankful for what Christ paid, what God gave up. What Abram was going to do. You think about it, Abram, I believe, what if Abram didn't pull up that knife and go to sacrifice? His belief was so strong that he knew that he was going to have a sacrifice. He knew that God was going to spare his child. Are you that confident that you're going to go to heaven? Do you know that you know that you know? I keep bringing up September, man, because it's everywhere. People are talking about this everywhere we go. September, September, September. Dad, you got to get a hold of this. Women, you got to stop undermining your husbands. I know I had a guy reached out. He emailed me not too long ago and said, "Listen, Nelson, you've been bashing men long enough. When are you going to do the videos on the women?" Good question. I haven't forgotten it. I got a list of stuff in there that I'm still going to get to. I mean, I've been making calls and talking to people that I promised a long time, right before I got hurt, actually. And if you guys don't mind, I just want to touch on this for a moment. And unless you want me to continue on, I'll read the comments real quick because, okay, well, we're still good on there. All right, so far nobody's saying no, continue on. So I'm just going to share this. Most of you know I got hurt in December uh, last year. Yeah, 24. And the things that I didn't tell anybody was the pain and the suffering that I've been going through. I've always been a strong-willed person. I've always been able to take pain. I mean, obviously, I couldn't have been a fighter if I couldn't take pain. I think maybe it rattled my brain a little bit too much. I don't know, but to constantly go numb, to constantly fall, not knowing your own where you're at, not knowing that this is my house at times, not knowing the people around me. Uh, because I got 3 discs, two of the bottom discs now, because it's the three from the bottom up. So disc, short. They're small and comes up. In case some of you don't know, I didn't know until they had to show me the human body, skeleton, and all that stuff. Two of them, the two bottom ones are pushing one way, and the other one's pushing this way, which is causing pain to go into my leg, my calf, all the way up my spine, into my head, and my eye. It feels like constantly. I just want to. I literally one night, because it bulges. It feels like the pressure feels like it's just gonna pop my eyeball completely right out of my head, and it causes blurriness. I can't see. That's when the forgetfulness comes in. My hips, obviously, I got some arthritis in there, but the doctor explained from the way that I fell, my left leg came all the way up. Basically, my foot was like here on my side, and it twisted my whole body to the right, and I spun around, hit my head coming down on the side of the trailer, and that was the last thing I remember besides waking up, and my feet were pointing in the direction that I first started coming. So to give you a rundown of what I'm going through, both of the inserts where your hip, if this was the knuckle of your leg coming into that socket, there's like this jelly, like a liner thing in there, I guess is the best way to put it. And as it goes into there and it kind of locks it in there, it holds it. So it allows it to move freely. Well, this is all picture this, but there's only a little section of it left. Everything else is tore up on my left side from that twist. Everything on the right side is now being damaged because I'm putting everything over here, and it's now my other side, which was injured also, but it's taking all the blunt. This leg will literally pop loose and it just throws me down. I've hit my head more times than I can really shake a fist at. I know for a fact twice I've probably had I want to say it was some kind of stroke, maybe a heart attack. I don't know. Uh, the one time it wasn't for Darlene yelling my name, I wouldn't have came back. From what I seen, I wasn't coming back. It's hard, people. A lot of people say, "Oh man, I wish I could see heaven. Oh, I wish I could see hell and see what you've seen." Just look outside. You'll see hell. Look at the people. I mean, look what happened up in Michigan. You think all the stuff that I'm talking about, these people eating animals on the streets because they're hungry, It's not going to be animals, people. It's going to be people. They're going to be eating people. The ones that refuse to take the mark in the ones that refuse to take the mark on the forehead are in the right hand. You're going to be so fearful, you're going to be eating people. I've seen it. But anyways, I've never had depression. And I know a lot of you probably think all the stuff I've been through. Uh, Depression is there's different kinds of depression, I guess, from what I'm being told. But to me, how could you be depressed when you were never happy about anything? I mean, look what I lived. You know, there was no depression. That's everyday life. I didn't really start feeling different until I started following Christ. See, people didn't like me as a demonic person. They don't like me as a Christian. There is no in between there. There is no lukewarm. There is no hot and cold. You're either on fire for Christ or you're cold for Christ. There is no I'm going to do good deeds and good works and all that stuff. That stuff isn't going to save you. I know this. I don't want God to have to send me to hell. I don't want God to be burdened with that. Not that he would. Maybe he would. You ever think maybe God just cries because another soul's been lost to hell? Another one of his children? What if you had to stand there and make a choice? Send one of your children, one of them goes to heaven, one's go to hell. Could you do it? Why are we making God do it then? I'm trying to beat around the question so I don't have to finish what I was about to tell you. In case some of you are wondering, I'm good at doing this. But I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I couldn't sleep one night. I kept hearing this noise. And I got up and went on the breezeway. And I know I shouldn't have done it. No, I shouldn't have done it. My leg was hurting so bad, it gave out on me and I fell. Only thing I remember is hitting the chair and I hit my head on the concrete out there. And all I remember is seeing this lady sit in the other chair talking to me. And she kept telling me, just come here, come sit with me. The closer as I'm sitting up and trying to realize what's going on, and I'm looking and didn't even realize. I'm like, well, I remember coming out the door, but I don't remember coming out the door. I don't remember opening the door. And I remember looking, and she goes, come here, come here, come sit with me. I was like, Grandma, yes, come. Notice what I just said. Grandma, yes. All of a sudden, then it's my grandma. I gave it that authority now to manifest whatever it wants. It's like a tarot reader. They don't know until you start talking. Oh my gosh, I was just praying about money. Oh, you're going to get a raise. It may be due for you to get a raise, and you just think it's all coincidence. I tell you what, back in the day, tarot reads were like $20. I don't know what they are now, if people are still doing this. If you're one of them people that go and shove a bunch of money in the lottery machines now that you can do it on your phone, congratulations. They're still going to bankrupt you. Again, I'm trying to dance the question. Work with me, people. Be just roller coaster ride. It always got to go strong. We got to build that steam to be able to go down the climb the next mountain. As I stood up, I wasn't in pain. I felt peace, but I felt uncomfortable peace. And I remember taking a step back, going, my grandmother. What did I like to dress like when I was a child? Now, I'm not naive. The Watcher was a very, very clever. Quickly, Batman. Huh? Hmm. What was the glow item under my bed? That's what I thought. What was my best friend growing up? That's what I thought. Be gone from me, Satan. You demon from hell. I bind you back to hell. I turned around and walked back up the one step and then to the platform to the door. I still don't remember opening the door today. This is why. Came through the kitchen, turn. We got to go either down the hallway or you go through the little walkway. There's a door right there where you hang the coats and whatever else. Shoving that thing, puzzles, the vacuum, everything else. The recliner that I got, that's one of them lift ones. There was my body. You may say, Nelson, you're crazy. No, it's true. There was my body. I started hearing her voice again. And the last thing I remember is being turned around and I fell backwards because I was reclined downwards. I fell backwards. I took a deep breath. Like I felt like I needed to take a deep breath. And when I entered back into my body, I exhaled all at once. And I had the worst headache for a couple days. When we go, when I'm able to see heaven and I talk about heaven or I talk about hell, don't wish for something that the Lord says could be unbreakable for some people. Well, what does that mean? The devil's going to use it. When the devil uses stuff to make you miserable, because we allow it. But I mean, that people, I cry sometimes. I don't want to be here anymore. And I went through a deep, deep darkness. And that's when I stopped doing videos on here. I stopped communicating with people. Uh, I just didn't care about anything. And I knew what was happening, and I was terrified. I was terrified that what if I can't stop this? What if I couldn't focus on the word? I couldn't read. I couldn't, everything. My sight went bad. I had to go. I said, we need to go get glasses. I went down and got glasses. Nothing. Nothing was working. And all I could do is sit there. Why, God? What have I done besides what you have forgiven me? And I remember the Lord sitting with me one night telling me, are you done? I was like, with life, yes. What if I accomplish nothing? This has all been a blurry dream. A heck of a movie. Man, if I could get Spielberg or somebody to write a movie of this, wow. I think people would stop sinning immediately. No, that's not what I mean. What then, Lord? Are you done complaining? You done with this pity self? You were made for a purpose. When you're planned and your purpose and reason, that's why I always say God has a purpose, plan, and a reason. Not my teaching, his teaching. I have great things yet still for you to do. I'm injured, Lord. So I'm not capable of letting you do anything then, right? But be in pain. Is that what you're telling me? Then I guess I'm no different than Satan. Lucifer. Guess I'm a bad shepherd. I left my wounded sheep to be devoured by wolves. Oh, gotta be careful what you're listening to, people. Gotta be very careful. As clever as sometimes I think I am to detect when things are going in the wrong direction. So I asked to finally get medication to help my thoughts, anyways. Only difference is it just makes me. Well, let me tell you the last one. Just not too long ago, I fell in the garage again, smacked my head. I was out. I was talking about it on the other video. I say them chairs you take out of the bags. It's got the pull strings, got the little things, kind of looks like a tube, and it folds out. I had it unfolded, but when I fell, I hit my head, and I woke up and I smashed that thing. Something's changed in me. I don't. I have fear of things that I never feared before. I see things different than I've ever seen as a child, or even brushing up against somebody. I've told you guys in these videos, I touched the lady and told her exactly what was happening to her at home. Her husband came back later on and socked me in the side of the head because he thought, I don't know what the heck he thought, but oh well. Please don't make God send you to hell. Please. It's the most rottenest, torturous, painful. Nothing you're doing on this earth. No self pleasures, I guess, is worth it. I always thought I was a strong person, but what I've seen, and eventually I'm going. I told the Lord today, please give me a couple more days before I speak what I've seen. It haunts me. I woke up last night, curled up in a ball, terrified. Hmm. Let's switch gears. Let me look and see what anybody. All right. Let's give to God what is God's. Let man's ways be of man's ways. Don't be deceived by the world. People, I keep seeing these explosions on the ground. I want to say it's some kind of submarine, something. I see these things moving quickly under the ground, under the water. There's these missiles flying, exploding, and it's causing the ripples, which is going to bring up a huge earthquake. I spoke a while back about the greatness of the earthquakes and stuff that were going to, the numbers were going to go up. The Lord said, when you hear first time ever or record breaking. I also said that these warmer states would see colder weathers than they ever seen. Now, it might be a coincidence. People say, hey, no, so that's potluck, not for snow to be in places. I've seen Florida coming underwater. It's about 8 days now. And the crazy thing is, I remember one time I was getting up and go to work, and I told Darlene, I said, I seen this airplane flying out of control. This white bridge on the bridge, and the white van went off the bridge. The airplane crashing into everybody died. And just give you a fast rundown of it. I came home for lunch that day, and she's staring at me, and she's just like, "You're not going to believe what just happened in this country." Word for word, people. The very dream I had. Now, I'm not telling you this. I am nobody. I don't want to be praised for any of this stuff. I don't want pity. I don't want anything. I just want you to look at your lives. I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. And sometimes I wish people could see hell. But then I imagine these movies that people watch. You ever notice any movie they do on hell? It's kind of like a comedy type thing, Little Nicky. And I didn't even watch it. I mean, I walked in there when I was a sinner now. And my kids watch pretty much the movies I watch, so how can I be mad at them? I My own fault, people. You know, but they also went to church. I didn't go to church with them. Again, maybe if I did, we would have changed something, or maybe not. I can't live on what ifs, could have, would have, should have. I never have, never will. God has a purpose, plan, and a reason, and I don't know why the things happen to us, but in every situation, every darkness, everything we go through, every trial, every part of our lives, God will get glory. And I'm all about giving God glory. And I know a lot of you are. Lord told me, listen, I need you to tell them when they're sick, thank God for your sickness. I was like, wait a minute, what? He says, I want you to tell my Father right now that you thank him that you're hurt. Why? Okay, I'll do it. This is true. This is how I talk to Jesus. Okay, I'll do it. Father, thank you for hurting me. Thank you for making me go through this pain and this suffering. The Lord says, how do you feel? I said, peaceful. But what was the purpose? You'll find out. And I sat there for about 3 minutes, and I went, roughly about 3 minutes, because I remember looking at the clock. And I said, Lord, I get it. I've been praying, because when I'm in the truck, I talk to him throughout the day when I'm driving, because most of the roads I were on, I mean, I got a long way, but I also got to pay attention to traffic and everything else. And I said, I get it. Time I'm done at nighttime, there was times I went back there, put stuff in the microwave, and started untying my boot, and I'd pass out. I wake up in the morning, my boot's still on, stuff in there in the microwave, and I'm going, wow, I didn't even eat dinner. And then it dawned on me. Then I felt bad because I didn't even pray. How many of you think you fall asleep praying and it's a bad thing, but because you're praying for your night, you're praying for your dreams? I pray for my dreams. I pray for my sleep. I pray that God protects my sight, my hearing in my dreams, and I pray that he blocks the evil out of my dreams. If there's anything in my dreams that he wants me to remember, then let me remember. If there's a purpose that he needs me to do with them, then let me do it. I'm not saying I'm a prayer warrior, and I'm not saying anything else, but I learned over the years how to defeat Satan, to get him out of my dreams, get him out of my head, get him out of my visions, get him out of my house. I don't want him. We open the door. Bible says all he needs is a hairline crack. But he wants you to thank God, the Father. He wants you to thank him, your Father in heaven. You might have had a bad earthly father, but I learned later on I never had a bad heavenly father. And I'm okay with that. So I've been thanking him for everything. My prayers. If I'm in need of something, I'm thanking him in advance. Like, we got an issue right now, and it's like I was so frustrated. I'm like, because let's face it, workman's comp doesn't pay what I was making. They give you and being that it's company self-insured, it's self-insured workman's comp. That means they have to go off the guidelines, which that they give me every 2 weeks. They give me a check, but it's not on everything else that I made, so I'm losing money there. Well, Darlene had to take off to help take care of me. Sorry, my back is cramping up bad, and so you lose, even though she always said, well, it was this much, but it still paid some of the bills and stuff. But this is where I go, thank you. Thank you for showing us that you're going to keep our lights on. Thank you for showing you're going to keep the mortgage. Thank you for showing you're going to have. No, I'm not asking for money, people. Nope, I'm not. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm just letting you see how your daily thoughts, I live it. I understand what you're going through. I wish more people would come together and we could talk about these things and not be embarrassed of things. And, we'd stop Satan real fast. Thanksgiving is what we're lacking. The love that he has given us, the freedom that he has given us. I'm telling you right now, there's been bills been paid. Electric bill, we got electric bills, $0. How the heck do you not use any electric? You see down here, I mean, I got them canister lights up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's just 6 in this area. I got fluorescent bulbs there. I got everything going up here. This is going. That's going. Snoopy's outside mowing with electric. No, I'm just kidding. I like Snoopy. Why'd you bring that up in the middle of that, Nelson? Hey, I'm glad you asked. Because that's the next thing he told me. Don't be afraid to be childlike. You know your responsibilities. You know what you're supposed to do. Don't be afraid to sit and play dolls with your granddaughter, your daughter. Don't be afraid to pull a Hot Wheel out. No, maybe not these days because kids don't play with Hot Wheels. I don't know why. The world has to change. Satan wants it different every day. Every day I see kids going to school, and I wonder, are these kids going to eat the way that we care for all these other? I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't want no kid to go without, but we got a lot of kids here starving. We got a lot of kids here being bullied because they can't have designer clothes. Because we got a lot of single moms. I thank God for people that can go out and buy extra school supplies. I wish the world was different, but we can make it different. I remember when my kids were little and I was working and I was just saved up enough money to get a new pair of boots, and I had holes in my boots. And I took socks and put them on cardboard. I cut a bunch of cardboard cutouts of my boot liner, and I just kept cutting it. And I put uh, socks in between it, and I wrapped it with duct tape, put them down in there to keep the water, keep my feet dry. And I was finally been able to go buy a pair of boots, and they needed new shoes. One of the kids needed new shoes, and I went, dang. And I remember walking in the store going, man, I can't keep wearing these boots, man. My feet got calluses on it. They hurt so bad. And I was like, I'm not going to have my kid get made fun of. This is before I was a Christian. Those are the moments when I understand God's love. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, John 3:16. For whoever believes in him shall not perish. Most people know the John 3:16 part to a certain part. Not, again, that I'm a scholar of any kind. I'm just a simple man that has God's grace written all over it, God's mercy, God's holy hands. So if you ever think you don't have a purpose, come on, disciples. It's time to rise up. You're doing a great job posting the scriptures on here. I believe God's up there with Jesus right now smiling. I believe some of you right now are going through some heavy thoughts. It's okay. I believe some of you are going through porn addiction. I believe some of you are going through gambling, alcohol, drugs. Some of you may even be an addiction to sex. You might say, Nelson, that's not even a thing. Yeah, it is. Think about how many people. I'm sure somebody knows somebody. I believe each one of us would know somebody in our lives that knows somebody that goes out to parties and ends up sleeping with somebody at them parties. It's addiction. It's a demon. Every sin, there's a demon. Otherwise, Jesus would have never had to take all the demons into the grave. Jesus did a lot in 3 days of laying in that grave, but he also defeated hell in that 3 days. Busy man. How busy are we? Overlooking everything, turning the blind eye. You can break those addictions today. You can break your depressions, suicidal thoughts. I'm not worthy. I'm never going to amount to nothing. I'm stupid. I can't speak right. Why do I gotta have a face different than everybody else's? Wow, how many of you probably thought, well, geez, man, he's speaking to me right now. Wait a minute. No, he's actually speaking about himself. Told you, that fall changed me. See, being made fun of all the time, now I look at people that has birthmarks on their faces. I seen a person the other day that had these like bumps all over him, and the person walked around like this because he didn't want people to see. And I just walked by him and smiled. He looked at me and I looked at him and I went, see, it's a lot different, people, when you see me on this. But I had one operation done. I didn't want to do no more because of the pain. It was horrible. But I realized I never wanted my face different again because I wanted to remember everything that happened to me, the different stages that brought this. I've always said I got scars inside and scars outside, and it keeps me on that straight and narrow path. We are going to be this world. We're going to go more. There's going to be deaths over here in these things. They're already here. They've been setting up their stations for a while. I truly believe our government knows it. That's why they're starting to give us. We're going to clean the streets up. Washington D.C. putting out there. Notice they're starting. They did Virginia or Los Angeles, wherever. You notice Washington D.C. is going to be the first. Really, actually, the first one since all this is taking place. Corruption is going to. November, if your state has on there to stop property taxes, please vote for it. Let's put an end to this crap. Does anybody ever think, I mean, really, these are the things that we should be questioning. It's not the fact of how much money somebody makes, it's how in the world does our Congress people, Pelosi, Schumer, John Kerry, I can't even think of all their names. And I'm not just naming Democrats. I really don't care if they're D or Republican. I don't really care. I mean, but does it bother anybody that these people are all millionaires? They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to worry about how much money they have for fuel for the week. They don't have to worry about how much a gallon of milk is. They don't have to worry about uh, what egg prices are. You know why all this stuff is the way it is? Because they don't care. It doesn't affect them. But we made them millionaires. The IRS was set up for every 7 years, all forgiveness. Everybody's debts wiped clean. That means what the rich people do. Everybody goes back to zero. They wouldn't be in the trillions. They wouldn't be in the billions. They wouldn't be in the millions if this was truly happening. I know it. But they keep taking our money at the grocery stores, the gas stations. I mean, we drove around the other day and I'm looking at the gas station. Darlene finally mentioned it. I didn't want to say anything because I'm not trying to bring a sorrowful day to anybody. It's bad enough. We've been through enough. She goes, "Well, look at the gas prices there compared to what we just passed." I'm thinking, yes, I know. It's federal, isn't it? I mean, we got all this oil here. We got all these ways of making beans. Diesel, which is it's supposed to be the cheapest because it's not refined and all that stuff. And look at the prices of it. We go in the grocery stores. Which brings me to this. Are you one of them people that when you walk in there going, oh my gosh, look how much this is. Look how small this is. Look how big this is. I mean, look at the ridiculous price of this. Look at this. Look, the ounces are wrong. This is gone. This is, the boxes, there's more air in the bag now on potato chips and there's less product in it. Stop. Because that echoes up into heaven as complaining. Instead, the Lord said, look at your cart and see what's in it. Have I not blessed you? Have I not blessed you with what you want? Someone's knocking at my door. I don't know who it is, but I'm going to go answer the door. Love you guys. I don't know if I'm going to come on tonight, but definitely tomorrow between 10 and 11, and I'll do a follow-up. God bless you.